Okay.
TV, let him take
Hello,
his time,
ladies and gentlemen. We are back with Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. I'm getting out of the driver's seat because Phil's backseat driving. Let him take the driver's seat again.
Only because this is my seat that I paid with my money.
I know how to drive a car. I think I could drive a stream. You taught me that much.
It's not about the stream.
Calm down. Ask you a question, then you'll be fine.
All right, fine. Ask me that question.
It's not even about the stream. It's about the fact that I'm voicing the pivotal character here.
Yeah, the first voice is the judge, though.
Objection! You have your coffee ready?
Okay, I guess I better start now. Well, now then, before we proceed any further...
Sounds southern now.
I'm going to announce the results of the tests we had performed earlier.
The door is alarmed. What startled it?
Uh-oh.
Weed, cocaine, seeing right through your cards, you evil.
Uh-oh. I just read that.
Objection. Turk can't voice act, nor can Josh.
Hey!
Tests?
Yes, tests on the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree.
Oh yeah, that. Totally forgot about it.
So did I, actually.
That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought the victim.
So, what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or...
Due to time constraints, a full test wasn't possible. However, one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood.
Oh.
And now Godot's kind of like,
Good.
that is all. Now then, let's restart this trial.
So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. And whose was it?
I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims.
I understand, Your Honor.
I know. Uh-huh.
From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking, so let's finish this quickly.
Couldn't agree more. Agreed.
Okay.
They finally got to Maya. Very well. Please bring in the last witness.
Praise be the last witness.
Praise me like the sun.
Witness, please tell us your name and profession.
Pretend I'm eating burgers.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, there was one sticking out and just fell back in.
My my profession is I'm the assistant manager of Wright Co-Law offices.
According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Karain channeling technique.
You were right the first time. Karain.
I'm frightened. The plan. I don't want any more to do with it. Aww.
Oh my. The pain the Fey bloodline causes must be unbearable.
Very well.
That is what must have kept her from training till the point we see her in the last game.
Now then, Miss Fey. The event occurred. You were in the garden of the inner temple.
Speedy Ute?
And
crap is a Speedy Ute.
Witness the moment of Miss Elise Dunham's murder. Is this correct?
Objection!
I misread that, didn't I, Chan? Hold the phones.
Godot.
Hold on.
It's actually pronounced Godo. That's how they do say it in the anime. So
Godot.
let's just go with Godo for now. For
No,
the rest of it.
Godot.
We're gonna keep on Godot.
I'm
Straight in this instant, young lady. What's up, Chan?
So, no, it wasn't you for once, Turb.
Okay.
It was Josh, yet again.
Oh.
Josh!
He can't hear you.
From this magazine, you are a spirit medium. The fuck is a spirit medium?
A spirit medium that does things speedy?
It's because you fudged spirit medium by saying speediot.
That's
And
fine.
I said it again because I screwed up.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You'll never be a judge. This is why people laugh you out of court.
Beak!
Huh?
Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always a time for crying later.
Bye-bye.
Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right?
How many cups of coffee have we counted on him?
You've seen the witness coming out, and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony.
He had 25, I believe.
I think so.
On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen?
Witness, if you please.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, it's time to squeeze the truth out of her.
Very gently.
Gently.
I was passing through the garden on the way to a fair prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness.
You think you screamed, "Help me"?
So you were struck on the head. I suppose it must have been the staff.
Your mother spoke softly and carried a big stick.
That-
Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was.
Maya, think hard.
Sorry, Nick. But I really couldn't. Stop yelling at me!
Ah. Can't say it was a especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone.
Seems it will be hard to determine a criminal through testimony
Heck,
alone.
damn it, Brendan! That was already posted!
Uh-oh. That's...
I know.
Let's go. Next one.
Stop it. Everybody
Very
say
well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination.
Trying to concentrate, you're distracting me.
Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look well at all. Alright. Did anything stand out to you?
I think.
Yeah, like, just, a little interesting.
Brendan, I don't think Chan wants you to distract either.
I'm
honestly
sorry.
speaking.
I'm sorry. Continue.
You think you screamed? But you're not sure?
Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. A man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits.
Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robe.
TMI, Judge.
I thought that person might attack me, so I. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed and thought that it was my last hope.
Sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. I wonder if she meant by what she meant by last hope.
A
What do I
Jedi.
do I press her for more details?
Yes.
What did she scream? My last hope. Wait and see. Well, I mean, he did kind
What
of
do you think?
emphasize my last hope.
Well, there's not really a wrong answer. Wait a minute, Maya, what's this my last hope stuff?
What? What do you mean by your last hope?
No. That's what you said. You said my last hope.
Huh? What? I said what?
Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me!"
Yeah?
But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope.
Oh, well, you know, that's like, what do you call it when that happens?
It's not going. Mine's not doing so well up there.
Oh, yeah, oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at.
Did you just say?
Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's why I was screaming to for help. Ah!
What is it now?
I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out.
Also, Brendan, he can't even see chat at the moment, so...
Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you are saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person.
Well, I meant to keep that part a secret. What have I done?
Ah. Fun.
Take care.
Takes a ton of pressure to make it timed. That's what I always say.
We have a lot of sayings. A ton of pressure.
You're in a court of law here.
Open up my...
You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber.
Witness, the information you just presented is vital to this case. The case. I want you to add it to your testimony.
I could see a man behind the attacker by the light of the stone lantern.
I can barely see a contradiction in that one.
I can too. A man? Who is this man?
Well, you can see. I can see.
You couldn't see.
How do you tell those men?
She's used this excuse twice now.
So, you know, the lantern light is very bright.
Yes.
Certain light, did you
Especially
say?
considering that lantern.
Mm-hmm.
Never lit.
See it?
Yes, it did.
Okay. There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. I always light it when an acolyte is there for training. Hey! You know what they say, under the lantern, darkness reigns. So I can see the person that was further away. But not my attacker, who was closer.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time.
Maya, you do realize how much shit that sounds, right? Okay, so go back one. Alright. So, look through your evidence.
Photo.
Use the buttons of the tab.
Is the tap screen not working?
No, she's
No,
just tapping it incorrect.
Oh, speaking of tap screen, I looked at reviews for, The World Ends With You.
Yeah.
They are not looking favorable to tabletop mode. Apparently, it's playable with handheld mode, and tabletop mode is very jank.
Okay.
So we may just play the 3DS version instead.
Was not lit the night of the crime. You said it was.
Interesting. I could see a man behind the attacker by the light of the stone.
Objection!
If it wasn't lit, then... So there was a man standing behind your attacker.
Yeah.
That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Donan, otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother.
The killer?
Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you?
Father, I bet.
No.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony.
Huh? What do you mean? What problem?
Maya. On the night of the crime, the stone lantern was out of commission.
Huh? What?
It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night.
No.
Let's shorten this.
Order.
My-
Order in the
It's so
go-kart.
slight, it's like, oh, this doesn't fit.
Motherfucker.
Mr.
Thanks.
Go-Kart.
Order. Order in the court. Mr. Godot, explain this.
Nope.
826.
29.
You said 25 before.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Oh.
Stop lying to me.
Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe au lait.
Cafe au lait, is that even legal?
Hey, if I can drink coffee with milk, then it must be legal.
Mr. Tright's words are milk and you are the spoon, Your Honor.
I'm a spoon, I'm no spoony bard, I'll have you know.
You must have noticed it too, Trey. This witness's mental state is highly unstable now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that.
Sorry, but that's not going to cut it.
What did you say?
I could have got it.
If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony.
Nick?
May I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe the person that was standing behind her attacker. And she quite clearly described him as a man.
Dun dun dun. Ah!
Man, man, boy, boy.
Ben boy.
Give me the flesh-colored bubble bath, man! In other words,
Dang it, Moon Moon.
that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person. Despite it being
I've
so
done
dark
nothing.
that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker.
No! Oh, poor Maya.
Someone tell Josh
Alright,
I've done
you should know
nothing. He can't
better
say
right
damn
now.
it, Moon Moon.
Order,
What?
order.
What? When did he say damn it, Moon Moon?
He said it.
He
in
did it
the
earlier. Yeah, just a little while ago. Doesn't matter.
What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch black conditions?
Objection!
Nope.
Trite, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark?
She's all magical.
There was no other light source at the scene.
Yes, there was.
There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godo.
Oh,
Mr. Godo.
right.
Mr. Godo. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him.
To cover for the man that killed her mother.
There's only one conclusion I can draw from this.
It ain't Larry Bud.
You know who this man is.
His neck. What do you think? I'm begging you.
Too late.
Ah.
Godot's gonna press you.
You talk a good game, Trite, but let's see if you can walk the walk.
What a burn you.
It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff.
No, Nick, don't. Please, stop. I don't want to remember.
Too late now.
Maya is dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. What? I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the law. I'm here to find the truth.
Officer of the court.
Same thing.
Officer of the court. I'm sorry.
Court.
All right, Mr. Wright. Time to show us what you want.
It still had the same meaning.
Who was this person that you saw Miss Faye, or you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness?
Now, an important point here is what Phoenix mentioned. He said, what could you see at the night? And you have a choice of all these people. What is the one possible thing that you could see in the night on any of these people?
But that's Pfizer.
Why is that?
Because it's glowing red.
Does it?
Yes.
Yep.
How can you tell? Do you know how?
The lights. Lights help you see.
Have we seen this before?
Yes, in the court.
When?
I don't remember.
The power went out during one of the trials, as I recall.
I never saw that.
Yes, you did. Or you must. Oh, okay. Maybe we finished Recipe for Turnabout when you weren't here.
Yes.
It was the third case with Furio Tigre, your imposter. He roared so loud it caused the court to the court to have a blackout. And then the one thing you could see in the dark was his glowing visor.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Or
you're
Phoenix's
right.
eyes.
That's true too.
For
But that was
some
more
weird
But
reason.
that was more for comedic effect.
Yeah.
So you are right. It's good. Or good. Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes?
What? But how do you propose to show us something like that?
It's easy. You just need to recreate the conditions of that night.
The conditions?
Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off.
But what? But it can't be.
Ah!
Hi, Godot.
That was a nice bit of deduction. Trite.
Why?
You're the killer.
Why? Here's my question. Why? He's supposed to be a good guy.
You'll see. Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder.
I'm confused.
Don't worry, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Order, order, order. Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this?
27?
27.
Yeah.
No, it's 28. You got another one earlier.
Yeah, so that
He's
was
actually in the
25. That was
30s.
26, so this one's 27.
No, it's
Keep going.
28.
Just keep going. Doesn't matter anymore.
Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing.
I'm good.
Why aren't you denying it?
Ah! Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person.
What do you mean by that?
You got a question? Ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
You have a lot of rules that make no sense, and some of them actually do.
Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night? Was it 3 glowing red lines?
Brendan's saying he's actually in the 30s because of his 13 from the morning.
Right, yeah.
Well, witness, answer the question.
You're wrong. I never saw that.
Maya?
I thought the person that stabbed her mother was a man. For a totally different reason.
What?
It is Godot, and I'm
It is.
pissed that she's...
Objection!
Oh!
Stop your chattering, Your Honor.
Chattering.
If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
Alright. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man.
Yes, Your Honor. Didn't realize it until after I woke up, but...
Pex.
Maya, I'll save you!
Oh yeah, Alex Louise
It was
Armstrong.
Batman.
Twinkle Man.
Killer.
Bat nipples.
When I came to, I was just lying on the training floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit, and the body was gone. All of the snow around the lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. The person did all that work alone. I just assumed it was a man.
That's
That's kind of harsh. Dumb.
sexist?
It was very sexist.
So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man.
Yes, that's right.
A big, strong
I'm
man.
sorry, Your Honor.
No need to apologize, as Mr. Godot said, you're utterly exhausted. only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man.
Sexist.
Yeah, I mean, women can do that.
Yeah.
Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
Okay, so in this one, you have to press 3 things in a very specific order.
What?
You're gonna have to
I'll tell you the order. First, press the 3rd statement.
Third statement?
Yes.
So this is
On the
one.
trading hall floor by the time
Two.
we were up. The
3.
torches were lit and the body was.
The torches were lit?
Yes. That's how I noticed the whole scene had changed.
Say it was the killer who lit the torch. Who else could it be?
Killer probably lit them so it would be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body?
That's true. It's hard to see how that would be any advantage to him. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person who was at the inner temple, Maya.
Very well, let's hear some more about the condition of the crime scene.
Alright, now press the 4th statement. So this one.
Okay.
So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It looked really fun. Snow was removed in an unnatural looking rectangular shape around the lantern.
There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy, way too heavy for me to use.
Odd fellow indeed, this. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away?
Because it had blood in it.
Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow?
Yeah. Area collapsed and ended up being splattered.
In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation.
Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. The killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it. No need to remove that amount.
That's true. He could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood.
There is one caveat to that that's kind of building.
Yeah.
It looks like there
And
are
it
some
kind of
mysteries behind
matches.
this issue.
Kind of matches the exact reason why. Oh, I don't know. The blood on the lantern wasn't removed either.
Yeah. Like, yeah, he read that.
But I think this will help explain them.
Alright, so now press the 2nd statement. So it starts with, by the time I got back to the garden. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
Truth is, I saw the crime scene, I felt something.
It?
Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me. For my sake.
A what? Hiding it for you?
Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. Mr. Bikini had come back and looked at the garden.
She may have thought that you had done it.
No, she would have she definitely would have thought so. You're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened.
Yes. Sure of it.
Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just say she's dumb for doing that.
I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence and of what had happened.
Press it.
No,
I would
you
say
present something.
Present the torch.
Why?
Because it has a Maya on it.
It has Maya written in that same blood.
Yeah, it's not. That's a piece of evidence that wasn't hidden.
Yeah, and if he cleaned up the evidence for her sake, why would he leave the most damning thing?
Exactly.
Can't see it.
because he couldn't see it. The body of Elise Donim was carried all the way to Hasakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd.
Oh, and what would that be?
You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godo. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya.
Huh?
If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't he wipe that writing off the lantern?
Thing.
You're right.
Oh! I actually like that because I
Order. But Mr. Wright.
I heard James and Pokemon do it recently, and I was just like, ew! I was just like,
Isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? How can he cover up something?
indeed. But it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow. Then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
Objection!
Oh,
But if that's the case,
32.
32? You're jumping in numbers.
do you have
Brandon.
an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior?
So that'd be 33 in total. Because how many cups of coffee he had this morning?
That would make him in the 40s.
Oh, 40s.
Because if it was 28 and he had 13 in the morning.
Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern?
Because you can see it.
Duh.
You
I don't know
can't
what the killer's plan
see.
was, but it's the fact that the killer left the writing on. There must be a reason for it.
He couldn't see it.
Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern?
The killer wrote it to pin the crime on Maya. The killer didn't notice it.
The killer didn't notice it.
Prosecutor Godo, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Sherlock Holmes.
Shut up.
Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought.
The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that the crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Shut up, Maya.
Shut up, Josh. The torches were all lit and everything. No way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. Any normal person.
You're
Maya,
right.
You're just digging his grave.
You're right.
for him.
There is no way any normal person.
You don't have to dig a grave for him at all.
He dug
He's
it-
already got 1 foot in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maya's kind of digging his grave for him.
Yeah. He's not having to do anything. She's doing
Yeah.
it.
There's
for
plus
him.
there's also the fact that she's a terrible liar.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about what she's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's digging his own grave by his
I'm not
own
even
body.
talking about verbally either.
The evidence is there.
I'm talking about him physically, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright?
There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether.
And who would that be? Again, Mr. Godot.
I swear, like, if anybody got this wrong while playing this game, I'm very disappointed.
Or, you know, they could just pick the wrong answer on purpose just to see how everyone would react.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Because they can be funny.
Yeah.
Mr. Godo, this is what you said yesterday.
My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
Can't see everything? Is that correct, Mr. Godot? I'd come up with him with a red object. Like, what color is this?
This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented.
This lantern. Something written on it. Why? It's written in blood.
Nonsense! This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle.
Okay.
Mr. Godo, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. I went through this once before. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Tribulations.
This is the apron that delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. And somehow spilled coffee on it.
Something's still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court?
Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be?
Don't play games, prosecutor. The bloodstain, colored stain, is smeared all over the apron.
That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain.
Soon you
That's
can see
right.
it.
You didn't notice that either. You could see the coffee on the apron, the white apron. But you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. 56.
1002. Ha! It's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one who can't see them?
So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you probably admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern?
Hey Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea.
What?
Wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't. Prosecutor Dodo is the murderer. But there's no going back now.
Why?
You'll find it.
I finally figured out the truth.
And to think, we're gonna get an HD version of this game
On the Switch.
on the Switch.
Mr. Godo, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Denise Philbin, also known as Miss Misty Faye.
Hard to believe this may be true. However, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about it.
Ha! Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Come on! How does a little graffiti make me into a killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there.
I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red.
This is rich. Go on, Trite.
The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow.
No, how so?
Well, for example, why did the killer remove all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area?
Yes, why didn't he take just that area? Ah! Could it be?
Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood on that seat that had seeped into the snow. So, he had to remove all of the snow. Couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
In fact, he was pretty lucky that he got all of it. Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark?
Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine.
It seems. Once again, this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. You explain this, Mr. Godot.
No, he can't. But she could.
What? Wait just a minute.
Maya,
What is it, witness?
inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up.
Objection!
Oh yes, this
Maya,
Got it.
you can't testify to something like that.
Why? What do you mean?
After the murder happened, you didn't even exist.
Didn't. I'm afraid I don't follow.
Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, that's right.
Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, listen to me.
Nope. Shut up, girl.
But that's the case. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. It means we're going to hear the whole truth. I say we should not silence her.
Ha! Nicely done, Trite.
I like how even Godot's like, okay, I'm impressed. Very well, let's hear the witness's testimony.
He could also be condescending as well.
Please tell us what happened at the inner temple after the murder. No, because
Yes, sir.
Godot realizes Nick can't pin him to the wall without her further testimony. And Godot's applauding him for it while being condescending about it. He knows Nick has the potential.
I said he was condescending, though, so...
I know.
Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearly was there in the inner temple, too.
I remember.
Whoa!
But
You should not
Starting with that, she's unintentionally trying to pin it on her little cousin.
yep.
No, not necessarily.
Pearly,
Yes, but starting with that sentence.
Pearly was also stuck in on the inner temple side that night. Next morning, he looked around but couldn't find anyone. Next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare breath room. That's where Mr. Groda arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up.
I'd like a little more info.
Who is this Pearly? Oh no, Pearl.
That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye.
So when did you hear about this?
Oh, a little while ago, when I was in the medical office.
I'm terribly sorry. What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony.
What? Come on! I would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be.
Yeah,
She's not wrong.
Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath. There's also the fact that we just did a 5 Psyche Lock segment involving her.
Mm-hmm.
She's very capable of telling lies.
Yes, but
She's terrible at it, but still.
she's terrible at it, and I would say Maya's a little bit better.
a little better.
Give me a sec.
The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness.
Mr. Godot!
Let's just move on to the cross-examination, if the defense has no objections.
This is highly unusual, but, well, Mr. Wright,
Let's get this cross-examination started.
you look so arrogant.
He's confident.
I know. Godot's is like, I don't like
Alright, there's one thing that you need to press on to get more details.
Okay.
And just letting you know, it's the very end of it. Oh,
I am going to end up like,
Nope. Every time.
yeah, just skip by this.
Yeah.
Alright, so it was when he was cheering Pearl up.
The arrow. Okay, I need to look up there, not down.
Hold it!
He cheered her up?
That's what Pearly said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot.
here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict.
Hey, I can be both. Ha! Cut it out. You're making me blush.
You're not blushing.
No, wait, I can't tell.
This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one.
The truth is, there aren't many places to look on the inner temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with a fine-tooth combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way. Godo style.
I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way. Judge style. Shut up, dude.
Maybe I should
And I'll
ask
do
some
it
questions.
style.
Phoenix style.
Yes.
Alright, so what do you think you need to ask him?
Forget it. Cheering Krill's up. Godo's investigation.
Yeah.
You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything?
Looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Trite. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern.
Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles.
The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall.
Me?
Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb surrounded by a hue and aroma of Western tastes.
He saw the scroll before it was covered in gravy.
Oh.
And when he was searching for pearls and cheering her up, she would have covered it in gravy at that point. Because she enacted her mother's will that night, the night of the murder.
Yep.
Western tastes. Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy?
So,
Gosh.
So from there, you headed to the prep room.
What is distracting you back there anyway?
Nothing. I actually have nothing going. I'm watching the game. That's the
Wait a
problem.
sec. What did Godo just say just now? I just found his proverbial weak spot. He needs to charge his tablet.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Keep going.
There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godo when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the inner temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Izuku.
okay, so where do I go?
Alright, so go to the very end again. I just want to see something. Okay, so that's the end. Okay, so now that you've pressed that, go to the statement before. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time.
So press it?
No.
No!
I said no.
I know, the more you said it, I pressed it. So skip it?
Yeah, just skip it. It's not
Touche. Coffee.
Okay,
So, 42.
Hot
So
nights
now
and even
you-
hotter coffee.
So now you present something at that statement when he. That's when Mr. Godot went there for the first time. Just as I thought. Godot is lying. His first visit to the inner temple really was after the incident. He shouldn't have known about that piece of evidence. I guess that's for context.
Yeah. Present. Scroll.
Objection! Mr. Godo. The first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the inner temple was long before the murder took place.
Why do you say that?
Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall.
Hanging scroll.
But Dakota is right. The scroll shows a picture of my mother.
Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this.
What's that wonderfully delicious smell?
The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy.
Gravy? What gravy, Nick? They wanted
Because
it
gravy was
tasteless.
much more than a condiment to the culprit.
They wanted to eat the scroll.
Nom. Well, Mr. Godo, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye.
Oh, but Wait a minute, Nick.
Yes.
Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look at the top. The crest up there.
That. It's the mark of the master, correct?
Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark,
And you could guess there was a picture of Misty Faye on there. Ah, but that's the
Oh.
problem.
True, but Mr. Godo described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western taste.
oh.
Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest was. However, couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godo, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the Inner Temple, long before the crime took place.
43.
Can I ask you just one little thing, Trey?
What is it?
This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed.
That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak it onto the crime scene.
Of course Mr. Godo knew about the crime.
Huh?
What did you say? Really possible that another person knew of that plan?
Morph!
It is. Not who.
No, check these stuff. Oh my gosh, dog.
Early.
Well, it was because of Pearl, but it's not because of Pearl. It's because of what she read.
The bird?
Okay,
Because that was the plan.
I'll be back. I shall return.
6%? Oh.
But so he made an assumption that the police.
This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan of for her daughter's future, and these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed? Sorry, you're still judging. Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls had ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple. But you still insist this crafty killer is me? You bet I do. But you just said that the instructions were hidden.
That's right. Mr. Godoy couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden.
If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out.
Yes, and when was that?
During a visit.
Is it?
Morgan Fay told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden.
Eavesdropping in a visit at the detention center?
That's not unheard
Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of them. Like, for example, a prosecutor, such as Mr. Godo.
Order! Cheeseburger! Mr. Kodat, you're under the fire again.
Hello, cheeseburger.
This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information about before the murder.
About for the murder.
About before the murder.
44.
Yabba dabba doo.
Yabba dabba doo!
Humans are afraid of the dark. And yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee.
Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean?
It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for the crime. After discovering the plans, he hid the Inner Temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness?
That's right.
If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her.
Yes, you do.
Got no proof yet.
You made a promise, I think.
I am what you see. I am certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress.
Yes, you are.
Killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better. Even considering the killer wanted to protect his witness's life, his behavior is a little too unnatural.
It's still a little too unnatural.
However, I have a good reason. You had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Goat? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect the witness at all costs.
I knew it. Figured it out, haven't you, Nick?
I couldn't
Maya,
take
I guess you were doing your best to cover for me. The same reason, huh?
He's laughing because I'm drinking at the same time.
Okay, Trite, I'm all ears. Let's hear it.
It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger named.
But what's this?
There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. I pronounced it
Inextricably.
inextricably, sorry.
Yeah.
There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister.
Yeah, Faye.
You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney.
Wait a second here. Oh, he finally figures out who Mr. Godot is. Mr.
No.
Godot is a defense attorney.
With your honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godo, his real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right?
Finally remembered who Godot was. What a surprise, Nick. It took you how long? A couple months, maybe a year?
The last time somebody called me by that name was over 6 years ago.
Diego Armando. That name rings a bell.
It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court, the tragic outcome left a deep heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise.
The one who we prohibited from ever summoning in this courtroom.
But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to him. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked.
Oh, my fault! It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself.
Mia, you can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
Now could you please get me some bandages? That really hurts.
You have any idea how much dark coffee hurts in sores?
Plus that cop was expensive.
I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients. That pure sweetheart of hers. That's why I can never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria.
Ah, I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here at this courthouse, you were poisoned.
Even I didn't see it coming.
What's that?
Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison in my coffee.
Some newspapers at this time called it a murder. Very little information about the case was released to the press.
But you weren't dead at all.
No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma.
See.
My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused.
Terrible.
Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew. And one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee.
Why am I not surprised?
Figures.
I'm not surprised.
5 years? You were asleep for 5 years?
And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had.
Is it Dahlia Hawthorne that killed her?
The woman I loved had been murdered.
No, it was
It was
random.
the second case in the first game. She was killed by Red White.
He basically blackmailed people and took their money. He took Grossberger's painting and he never got it back.
Never.
And the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death.
The woman you loathe?
The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee. Dahlia
Oh
Hawthorne.
yeah, Nick won that case.
No,
Oh.
it was Mia that one.
Oh.
Ha! Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end,
He was the defense. He was the one that was
He was
being
the accused.
He was the accused.
in the end,
Didn't you poison it?
there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
No.
No. Tried to.
Yeah. That's so sad.
For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best years.
Days.
Was it days? He was asleep for 5 years.
He said best days.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
There were only 2 reasons left to live.
Where you going?
And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor.
If I may ask, what were your two reasons to live?
The first was you, Trite.
Huh? Me?
If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died, much less the way she did.
Huh?
You were the only one who was there to protect her. But you let her die. It was all your fault.
It wasn't like that.
I wanted to see for myself what kind of man you really were.
But that's why you became a prosecutor.
My other reason for living? She goes by the name of Maya Fey.
Huh? You mean me?
You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Karine Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was just determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her.
That's how you overheard Pearls' visit with Morgan at the Dissension Center.
I knew that at the time the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could keep that girl from being caught up in it.
That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out.
Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both my accomplices.
Accomplices.
Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Fey. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Fay.
But how did you contact my mother? Gave me her number. She had been missing for almost 20 years.
Officially, yes.
What? What do you mean officially? 46.
You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government?
Now that you mention it, let's say something. You said that the Master of Korea made authority.
Even without her official position, Misty Fay still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor.
So my mother was cooperating with you?
Don't ever forget. No matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you.
This was always...
That's why. I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff.
Staff? The one with the sword in it?
The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fay if necessary. Yes! Even if it meant paying the ultimate price.
Mother...
$29.99. Plus shipping.
That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan.
You mean pearls, don't you?
We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne.
Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight? At night, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together.
We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan. But she never showed up.
He was worried and followed me to the inner temple.
That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Misty Fay had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body.
What? What do you mean? Channeled the spirit first. Pearls wouldn't have been able to tell.
As Master of Karai, Misty Fay's power was supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Fay wouldn't be able to.
So
My
you
mother's
just-
crazy!
What? Is this true?
My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Fay. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple. Just in case you needed to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, Trite. There's no doubt about it, you're a great defense attorney. But you're gonna have to do the rest yourself.
Background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. One question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Fay. I'm sad to say you, Mr. Godot.
No, there are three,
She
actually.
could have killed herself.
No, Pearl could have killed her. 3, she was also there.
Would she have been able to wield the sword, though?
No. I think
No, but she...
there's a
wait,
fourth
46.
option because if Misty Fay was in enough control of herself.
Yeah, she could have, yes.
So,
If you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own.
Oh, Nick, please don't.
Maya.
I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Goda. Goda. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on life to Mia and me too.
Maya, I know that.
Nick,
But even so, that doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify.
oh! Ah.
Miss Faye, your testimony, please.
This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick.
Oh, this is bad. Alright, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? Talia Hawthorne went crazy.
Alright.
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights, 3 of them. I thought I asked for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy from behind. Suddenly, the red lights went out and the whole area went dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. After that, Talia collapsed and I lost consciousness.
Heard a scream after her attack.
These red lights, I thought you said you didn't remember seeing them.
I'm sorry. Thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Things break, Trite. In the best of theories.
No, not really. Turn your mask off.
Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? Looks like you still can't prove it.
Maya is telling the truth this time. Rest is up to me.
Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness.
One thing you need to press. You remember how I was saying, you heard a horrible scream after the attack, eh?
Was it male or female?
I asked for help. Red go, attack on. Suddenly the red light went out. That moment I heard a hold it! What do you mean by just at that moment? Did you mean the moment when the red lights went out?
Yes, that's right.
The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice.
Oh, what? What?
Loud.
So then that scream came from the killer.
That's gotta be it.
I think Talia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked Thor with it.
And the killer let out a scream of pain, huh?
After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess.
How could he without the visor? Well, Mr. Wright, it makes sense to me.
It sounds like a reason. I still kind of wonder.
As a contradiction, that sounds about right.
I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction.
That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly.
Hey, you're the one who said it, not me, Judge.
At least he's acknowledging his issue.
Remember the testimony she just gave before the killer let out a scream? Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade out in the staff had already been plunged into the victim.
Is that right?
She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body.
The dagger.
The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than a staff.
The knife.
And it did have blood that wasn't identified.
If you're so sure about that, don't keep us waiting any longer, Trite.
There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon.
If Dahlia Hawthorne has already been stabbed in the back by the staff, What could she have used to strike back at the killer?
I feel so bad. Wasn't given a choice. It was save 2 kids or the worst possible thing that could happen happened.
Naturally,
The death of Pearl.
the dagger the killer brought up to the scene of the crime.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree.
Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me.
Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well.
Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been the victim.
Judge said it wasn't.
Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested?
Huh.
Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body.
So God, mind stripping your shirt off?
You're saying the blood
Not
on the
where
dagger
you think it
belongs
is.
to the killer.
Oh.
Nice. Get the mask.
Well, there goes the end.
The lights are off.
Right.
I'm not ruining
I
it.
know you're not, I know, but that was basically it. That was the mystery.
Stabbed him in the face.
So you're saying
I said it.
Yeah. Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godo, it would prove that it's your blood.
Take off that mask.
Nice theory, Trey.
Order in the court.
Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test.
Ha! Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say it turned out that I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to have left evidence like that?
What?
Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom.
Yes, what does that prove?
Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off, then planted another person's blood on it.
It can't be.
In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trite. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance!
What?
In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. Alright then, witness, continue your testimony.
Oh, wait a minute.
What's the problem?
I know I probably shouldn't say this, but the big contradiction in Nick's explanation. Nick,
Maya?
this dagger said that it wounded the killer,
That's right.
but if Goda had really been cut with a dagger, his claws should be bloody or have a rip in them, right?
Not necessarily.
The corn goes
Maya. Maybe he just changed his clothes. That'd solve the contradiction pretty well.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back the day of the murder? Everyone was on the inner temple side got trapped there.
Ah, that's right. Once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple, Godot was already there waiting for them.
He never had a chance to change his clothes.
Ah! Mask.
Mask!
Order in the court.
Bring in the green mask.
Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him.
But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes?
Don't you just take smart pills during the lecture session? killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on him.
Objection!
That would be dumb.
That's impossible, Trite. You know how cold it gets up there at night? After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid.
Ah.
Off the mask.
Wait.
Ah! So that's all you got. I knew you were tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already.
Mia Fey were here?
So come on, Trite. Can you do it or not?
Yeah, you're about to get burned, son. How about it, Mr. Wright? Accuse Mr. Godot for being the killer. Can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence? Of course.
Of this part. The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. Fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being... I love this part. This is my favorite part in the Ace Attorney series. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you want it.
Ha! That's good. A fighter till the barrier ends, right? Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the unlimited penalty?
Oh.
Make this wrong, you lose.
Oh.
Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot?
Oh.
Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need.
I don't know.
Give me a break. You've got nothing, Trite.
So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle.
I don't know.
Alright then, Mr. Wright, let's hear what you've got.
There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger.
But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. Ah, no it's not. If he'd been cut by a dagger, there should have been a blood stain on his clothing.
There's one place. One place the killer could have hidden his wound.
What did you say?
Hidden?
Oh, he sees it coming.
This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there was no blood stains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid his wound.
It's the end of the line. The final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got. Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound?
Where is his wound?
Face.
What's the only thing that shows his face?
His portrait.
Notice that it's playing the Pursuit theme from the first game?
Yep. Ah!
You mean the
I
corner
don't know
one?
what you're talking about.
The one from the first game, yeah, and it's perfect.
And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trite? What was that just now?
I saw the,
Mia? It can't be. You're living on through him?
Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. It's beneath your mask! During the fight, the red lights were given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Keep going. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, the mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved.
oh, burn.
Ah!
My face, it burns.
Kaboom!
I want to see what he looks like without the mask.
Just
You
wait.
don't get to.
Not anymore.
You exploded his mask.
Oh.
Oh, nope. It's fine. Let's just say it's 50.
Drinks too much.
Just now, I saw her spirit in you. Never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic happy-go-life. Happy-go-lucky life, whatever. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought. But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive
Was himself.
was me.
You yourself.
I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit.
But you saved Maya.
Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway.
What do you mean?
Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away.
What would that be? You're talking about Nick?
But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother. But I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. You know why? The real reason.
No, why? Just talking weirdly.
I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you after all.
Huh?
I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous.
You'll see why.
Forgive me.
You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya.
Nope. Every time he shakes his head for the cup of coffee, I think he's...
Yeah.
Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure.
Wouldn't be out of the realm of implausibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
That night in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette, part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing right there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye?
Nope.
Or was it something else? Was it my own hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply my desire for revenge? And now, I don't know anything anymore.
What am I fighting for?
I mean, same company, so.
I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one.
X4? Was it X4?
I can't remember.
I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. A stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom.
Is this a real life? Is this just fantasy?
Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people.
Oh,
In that one moment, I understood everything. Mr. Godo.
That's me.
I'm sorry.
I'm suddenly referring to myself in the third person.
He was monologuing for so long, I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Mr. Godo.
And coffee.
Did you want to say Diego?
I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando.
Armando, I believe in you. Oh, you were trying to save me. Oh.
He's crying blood.
No.
Thanks.
Yes.
Your wound. It's bleeding.
Oh.
Ha! Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears.
Ears.
Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando.
You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time Alora can cry is when it's all over.
Ow!
So Josh just hurt himself?
Drop the axe head on my knee.
So Josh just hurt himself?
Sideways.
Josh just hurt
Whoopsie.
himself?
This time, it really is all over. Defendant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Although you weren't directly involved in the murder. I love it. Tampering with the body in the crime scene is a serious offense in it.
In itself.
I understand, Your Honor. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk, and I willingly cooperated anyway.
Very well.
You're going to see fun.
Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you
Apologize to me? For what?
for the case 5 years ago, of course.
I just remembered. Were you poisoned by your own lover?
Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me.
Why was she planning to kill Phoenix?
Because he had the poison bottle around his neck the whole time.
Yeah, and would refuse to let
Not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
Huh? What do you mean?
You and my sister, you only met twice.
Huh? We only met twice?
Twin sisters, dummy.
The first time you met was on that fateful day.
He didn't know she had a twin.
Yeah.
The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. Next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed.
No way! It can't be true! I mean, during our whole relationship, we're...
Those 8 months? The woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister.
Was it Talia?
I hope one day you can forgive me. Aww!
You mean...
That's right. I liked you for 8 months. Aww, so cute.
But why? Why would you do such a thing?
Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as possibly could. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance, you couldn't move about freely.
So that's why you...
My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst.
Prepared for the worst.
She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she's always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice.
And she was ready to kill.
She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give it a chance.
That's why I came to get the bottle pendant back from me.
But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time it had ever happened.
That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and you would confer with her. She would confer with you.
I think she must have noticed.
What?
My feelings for you. I had found out she was planning to kill you. I would have done whatever necessary to stop her, even if it meant her life or mine.
Iris.
Spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed.
I have something to say to you.
You hear that? Yes? Yes.
Yes, kinda. You really are the person I always thought. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was...
Dogs would have gone ballistic if there was.
I still believed in you.
Thank you.
Oh, my heart.
So he fell in love with.
Shot through the heart!
He fell in love with the sister without knowing that it was the sister.
Yes.
But he also fell in love with me.
How many cups of dark?
No.
How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know.
That was
I'd
like...
say 1,000 or
That was like the sweetest thing.
Yeah.
Still love
I'll
her.
tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had.
Do him and Iris ever get back together?
Don't you think so, Phoenix Wright?
Nope.
They never go back
She has
together.
never been seen again.
Copy.
Cause she's in
I
jail!
think you're right.
The purpose of this trial was to murder on the rule on the murder of the victim, Elise Donum.
Own him.
I will pronounce it how I want. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in
We're
this
not-
case.
I understand, Your Honor.
Oh, very well. The charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not
Boom.
guilty.
I win!
Excuse me.
Court is now adjourned. Poor Godot. Sorry. As he doesn't want to be called Godot anymore. Poor Diego.
Yeah. That's a nice little thing. This is like the only trial where your client is found not guilty that didn't follow with confetti and yays.
Yeah.
Because it's not really clear cut. Like,
So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended.
Oh, my throat hurts.
no.
Man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison.
Of course, justice was served.
Oh, my world. Weird.
I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was.
Have you never seen Pearl's channel?
Nope.
Okay.
I've seen Maya.
I couldn't save Mr. Armando. The man who cared so deeply for me.
Wrong, Phoenix. It saved Diego. Saved him in the only way possible.
With that verdict?
I think one day you'll understand too. I want you to remember one thing. You're as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me.
Yeah.
Accomplish something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. I'm sure we'll meet again someday.
Hasn't happened yet in the games.
Oh.
This is her last appearance in the Phoenix.
Yeah, I want to preface this very sternly here. This was part of a trilogy, and originally Capcom intended to end it there.
Yeah.
I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. On this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to... Suppose today's case proved one possible answer.
Oh, Maya.
Nick,
You derp.
Maya.
I guess it's just like my sis said.
Yeah? What did she say?
That night, when I channeled, I had to get her advice on what to do. What she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Nix will save everyone in the end.
But
Come on, don't cut it out with a gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure ours too. We owe you for everything. You've done it for us, Nick.
I feel bad for Anya.
I can't speak because my throat is hurting a lot now.
Your throat is hurting right now.
how can
Yeah.
you be so
I need
bright?
another coffee.
So, where's Von Karma all of a sudden?
I
She's
apologize. I apologize for interrupting you the second time.
She's here, but she'll show up yet. How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened?
Your mother died!
You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. No!
You were saying?
Okay.
Francisca.
Speak of the she-witch.
Oh, okay, that's
Still
what
a
me.
softie as always, Phoenix. Eddie!
Excellent work, Wright.
Huh? Mr. Edgeworth? When did you get back?
Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me.
Helping you?
Okay, Edgeworth I get.
Yeah.
If these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial,
Oh, she worried.
the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Wow. But where were you, Nick? I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold, which forced him to sleep all day.
Yes. He laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head.
Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. Definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too, Francisca.
I think it might be Godo.
I don't suppose.
No.
I don't suppose there's some room for me in this group hug, is there?
No room!
Go away, Larry Butts.
Oh, Clary! You're here too.
What's with the, longer than usual face?
I realized something when I was reborn.
Oh.
I realized that Larry was never any use to anyone, not even once.
You realized it just now? That's not true. Maya, don't encourage him. Right, Nick?
What? You're asking me?
Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good.
It's true.
No.
Remember,
yeah.
there is tradition that you're missing out that you haven't done yet. And what is that?
I don't know.
Evidence!
yeah. Those portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth?
What? Me?
Oh, Francisca.
No, that's Edgeworth.
Francisca's gonna get involved.
Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy?
Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say they lack resemblance.
You really mean it? How about you, Francie? Did I draw you well, too? No!
My beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon.
Cat fight!
Nevertheless, I recognize the effort he put into it, and that's worth something.
So you'll do it? Like you promised? You're really gonna model for my next picture book, Franzie's whippity tip?
Whippity whip trip!
Carried away!
Don't get carried away. Whippity whip trip.
Oh.
Guess what? Next time you see him in the Spirit of Justice DLC, he's a children's book author, and he's talking about the book centering around Franziska.
Oh, God.
Well, how about it? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at.
So he actually starts making money doing children's books.
I guess.
The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good, if you ask me. Huh?
Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around.
Girls? Where could she have gone? Normally she would have made a beeline for Maya.
Oh, there's a good reason for that.
I'll look for her. Be right back. Hey, Pearly!
Right. You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened.
Yep.
Ah.
To be honest, I can't understand it either.
Wait, are you agreeing with me? That's right. She lost her father fairly recently.
I think I understand how she feels. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can.
What do you mean by now is exactly the time?
Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's time for that person. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying her best not to cry.
Someone who is hurt more deeply than Maya? Or Edgeworth? I'm trying to understand. Ow!
Then tell me, Phoenix Wright, who is Maya Faye being strong for?
It'd be for Pearl, wouldn't it?
Take that! Pearl Faye.
Poor kid. After all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions is because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Fae clan. She believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy.
But you're supposed to kill Maya.
It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya.
Oh, they fixed the thing together.
Actually, no, Mask to Mask fixed that.
What? We're supposed to say
Yeah, Mask to Mask broke it by accident and then put it back together correctly.
Not Mask to Mask.
Oh, not Mask to
It
Mask.
was Adrian and
Adrian, there we go, thank you.
Adrian.
But it's a cruel.
But it's a cruel irony that it...
The blonde with the glasses was getting...
Yes.
Yes.
But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Faye's mother was killed and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable.
Trial. Yeah, I was sure I forget.
I don't like talking over people.
And that's exactly why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again.
Ah!
Oh, hey! So this is where Gumshoe. Wow! Looks like you've got quite a... Ouch! What was that for, sir?
Sorry about that, Scruffy. My whip just seems to have a mind of its own.
She likes him.
I have an itchy chunga finger.
What's up, Detective Gumshoe? She has a thing for Gumshoe.
No, not
Oh,
at
you
all.
know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, Cal. Dinner's on me.
It's gonna be cup of noodles, isn't it?
My salary's just sort of kind of gone down by a teensy-weensy bit, but it's alright. I made reservations at a first-class fresh... No!
No!
Why would you pick Tribulations? Ah!
Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward.
Detective Gumshoe. It's at a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean... Tribulations. Where else? Do it. We're doomed. Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep Maggie waiting, pal.
Of course.
Didn't he learn his first time?
Hey, you! Crybaby!
No, that's Gumshoe.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it either. Hey, you, crybaby! You're bad too.
Oh, forget about me. Pearl and I will be at the Loser's Shack eating potatoes.
What?
No, Maya is taking an awfully long time to get back. Still out looking for pearls.
Oh.
Oh, Maya. Wrong.
Nick, what do I do? Really? Find her anywhere.
Huh? I'll bet she just went back home. That's all.
I thought so too, so I called the village. But no one has heard from her. This has never happened before.
She was right here. She wouldn't have gotten there that fast.
She sprinted. No, Mia sprinted out so fast.
There's also the fact that she ran to the courthouse in the second case on foot from her village. She ran there.
Okay. As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident.
Edward, shut up.
She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya.
But
Yeah, please point this out to her.
fault. What should I do?
Apologize for that.
Detective Gumshoe. Yeah? What is it, pal? You guys go on ahead. But what about you? Maya and I will join you guys once we find pearls.
Nick?
Don't worry about us. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be. We have a lot of celebrating to do. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're the
Very well, Phoenix Wright. We'll go on ahead. I am celebrating with you this time.
Don't keep us waiting, right?
We won't.
But where should we look? Where could Pearly have gone?
Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that pearls might have gone to.
The circus?
The law offices.
No, she went to the inner temple.
Oh, yeah.
Azakura Temple.
Let's go to temple.
For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started.
Could you at least wait till the game's over before you leave?
What's this? You're all back again so soon? Sister
Sister Bikini.
It's like maybe 10 minutes.
I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight.
So she's here? Pearly is here?
She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her?
Okay.
Ah, my intuition's right. Aren't you a clever boy?
Pearly's not here.
Ah, Maya, the hanging scroll. Someone
cleaned it off.
It's gotta be pearls. Ah! Mystic Maya!
Pearly! Why? Just leave like that.
Mystic Maya!
Or she is a kid. She's like an 8-year-old.
She's
Not
9.
actually, but
They actually say it in her bio.
Pretty close. I swore that I would never trouble the two of you ever again.
Oh, let me show it. She is 9.
9.
He's adorable.
It's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother. That's why you came here. It's the least I could do to pray for your happiness.
You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course I'm sad that my mother is gone, but why do I say this? I'm so happy.
You don't have to lie just to make me feel better.
No, really. True. The only reason I'm still here at all, everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. Even one of you weren't there. I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. All the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's why I can really do it.
Mystic Maya. I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic.
Sister Bikini!
Your mother, Mystic, was a very strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me.
After dishonoring the good name of Karine, I don't have the right to face my daughter. Still, Maya has always in my thoughts. True. Will always be with me till the day I die.
Your spirit is with her. That's why your mother was so strong. And at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. She'll always be with me. I, huh?
Huh?
There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? Never take the charm off until the day you die? That's the master's talisman. Thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the content. That's a photo.
Mother.
It's natural for living creatures to their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. Who do we fight for? How hard must you fight? Measure of what human life is worth. Defense attorneys are constantly challenged by that question.
Oh.
Broke it.
It was broken before.
Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return.
First of all,
Time
that's
and time
Mia
again.
and Maya.
Yep.
As children.
And they broke the face, and Mia's like, ah.
Uh-oh. I swear I was putting it back together. Yeah, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando. Maya's mother, too. I learned that from all of them.
Oh, so cute.
Well, shall we get going? Everyone is waiting. Ah! This is a day to remember. A day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today. But I still can't. Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime. Okay.
Alright, I'm going to make a brand new start too. Fish Bikini, I'll be back for more training, I promise.
I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3-4 when you get back. When you come back. Sorry.
Yeah.
Basically, she's referring to Maya, Pearls, and Phoenix.
And me.
Yeah. Alright, we're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance.
Okay, Mystic Maya. I'll eat lots and lots of food tonight.
Good.
You know, there's one thing I don't get. I probably don't want to, but
What is it, Nick?
reservations for training is fine and all. But why for 3?
Come on. What do you think? You're one of us, Nick. One of us. One of us. Next time you can train right alongside us.
But I can't channel!
Huh? I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you.
Oh, yes, Sister Bikini. Wait.
It'll be great, Nick. You're going to do the special course naturally.
That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? But I love my feet.
We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick?
You know, I was wondering if I could say just one little thing.
Hold on. No,
No,
keep going,
I've got to do it.
Keep going.
Oh, I love this part. I can't wait for it. I'm getting goosebumps, too. I have to do it.
Oh, okay.
Well then, here goes nothing.
Objection!
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is the one game where you don't get to do it.
Oh! Yeah, it allows you to go objection
It allows
straight
you
into
to
the
yell it
microphone.
straight into the microphone yourself.
Yeah.
I'll really have to work extra hard now. Master Karayan, office manager of Wright & Co. offices, and I'd have to be a good big sister for, well, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that.
Again.
Again.
It happens again.
What? Since when doesn't it happen?
Yeah,
Oh my
honestly,
God.
that's
Oh
the
no,
deal here.
Shelly to kill her, this one.
She
That's
doesn't-
not true. Mr. Nick really is missing Maya's knight in shining armor. He went through with the special course all the way to the end. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra special ultra course here
You're
too.
gonna yank it.
I think I'm
if you're not
surprised the
careful.
two of them by making them a special reservation.
Secret reservation. To be fair, Pearls and her do not appear in the next game.
Not in the next two games. Well, Pearl does in Dual Destinies, but
Yes,
Yeah.
but you
Maggie
know,
bought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off.
that's what.
Ahem.
Yes, but I guess a dirty, shabby old overcoat is just a like it's acting.
Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly.
Oh.
Gross.
Oh, come on. You know
Three
those two are
shadow shows everybody
those
in
two
all
are
the games.
shipped
Yeah.
so hard.
Sure, why not?
Okay, that's
Mr. Wright, I am once again, thanks to you, the Treasures Karayan exhibit. It was a great success. I got to see, she taught me how to use a whip instead of
So the jar has been broken 3 times,
Yes.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's broken the same way every time.
No. Oh, I mean, yes.
Destiny
but-
and I started a company called Mask to Mask Consulting. You're not doing the voice?
No,
I'm always cutting out, please.
My throat hurts a lot, so don't tell me with your foot.
We also sell plans for kernels on the cardio side business. I wonder if it's okay. Sometimes
Wait, I thought that was my voice.
Eh,
Now I just realized.
you didn't realize it.
Yeah.
You didn't realize it quick enough.
I didn't realize that was the same game.
It is.
Yes.
That was the first case one.
No.
No, it was the second.
I want to show my appreciation, Mr. Wright, for exterminating Don Tigre. So I lent him $500,000 and a tea set. A special thick tea, one I mixed with my own 2 hands. I bet he's drinking it now. Win through compromise.
I wouldn't
She's
drink
really
that thing.
psychotic, isn't she?
She's the daughter of a mob boss.
Who kind of got struck in the head.
Oh, this.
I'm just old and in the way. A wrinkly, grumpy clown-nosed waste of flesh. At least that's what I thought. But my grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing. 69 years old and I cried like a baby with a dirty diaper.
Oh, that's cute.
It's cute and disturbing at the same time.
Hey, the old guy's getting some affection from his grandkids, so.
Yeah, it's cute in that way, but the
As
Oh.
usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Elk. I do hope everything will get along. His name is Adamada. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly because Adamada is also a palindrome.
Yeah, you just.
Because literally everything tied to that case was palindromes. My, more reporters. Since the murder, we've made so much money I hardly know what to do. I think the magazines like us because I provide such a nice visual, especially in spring. I can hardly wait for Iris to come back. Oh,
and she never
Sister
does.
Bikini.
Well, how long is she in jail for?
Well, she's only an accomplice, so it wouldn't. I don't think it's super.
They never show the temple again, so.
I mean, okay,
I don't
in
know.
terms of our current law, it would be maybe like a couple of years in jail.
Yeah.
But for, what's his name?
Just you and everyone else to come and visit me here the other day. Of course, I was happy you constantly hit your eyes on me, but it felt kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard that your nose bled.
I think for at least Godo, murder is life sentence.
Yeah.
Given the circumstances, though,
It doesn't matter. Murder is murder. Unfortunately.
it's altered by circumstance. It is.
John King.
He did it without, like, the problem about this is, this was premeditated.
And Katano.
No Tara Strong at all.
No.
What?
No, there's no.
It's like predates.
Objection.
Almost.
Really?
Yeah, it does.
James C. Wilson. Escoda/Diego Armando. So this is called.
He's gonna use that whip.
Jeanette 2.
Oh no, never mind.
Ah! Objection! David Crislip. You are an
Guy
annoying
looks like
person.
an Idiot.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
And
Guess who?
What's this? I've been for a long time vacation and no one is here to greet me? I guess while I was gone, my little whippersnapper buddy quit and now I'm no one. And what kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? All the flashing lights and switches? I feel like some sort of space alien. And now what I'm gonna do with all these macadamia nuts I brought back from...
This one. There it is.
dress like that for.
Yes.
The first case of the game, right?
No, 4th case in the previous game.
Okay.
Hi, Larry.
I finally found something I love to do.
So wait, you're see.
Francie's whippity whip trip is gonna turn the art world on its head. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist. I'm a really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all.
Did you actually do good portraits?
I don't know. I haven't.
It's really good.
Yeah, the sketch that he did of the fiery bridge, I thought was pretty.
Yeah, it looked on fire to me.
Yeah.
Oh, and the bottom image.
Bottom
Oh, the top image. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh.
And those were done by Larry.
Oh, those are very nice.
Yeah.
2 dead, 1 in jail. Kind of upset.
It's fine.
Capcom.
Capcom Presents.
Okay, so officially.
And that was the trilogy.
Yep.
But first,
That's.
we have something to show.
Image.
Oh right, the images, right? Yes.
So go to new game.
Before we finish,
About memories, the stolen turnabout, recipe for turnabout beginnings, and bridge to the turnabout.
That's it.
That's it.
before we end, 2 weeks from now, replacing this will be Resident Evil 7. We will all be participating in the completion of this game. As to whether it'll be 100% or not, we'll find out when we start playing. I said everybody is going to participate. I hope.
That's still implying that she.
Anyways, folks, we'll be back in a small break after a small break with Custom Robo. We'll see you guys then.